Hi, I'm Chef Leo.
Hi, I'm Chef Theo, and this is The Confessions of a Private Chef. Season 1, Episode 10, Farm to Local. Hey, Chef, how you doing?
Doing great, brother.
We have a guest chef today. I'm very excited.
Another one. I love having these guest chefs because it just makes our conversation so much more vibrant and exciting. And I mean, because I feel like we could be boring sometimes. I mean, or maybe our voices are just boring. I don't know, man. But yeah.
It's a great dynamic.
Yeah, we have Ashley Odom, right? Last name?
That's right.
I didn't fuck that up. Good. Good. I'm really bad with last names. I forgot to ask Christina to say her last name on the last episode we had, but you know, I'm sure people will put it together and we'll put that on notes. But Ashley, I've known Ashley for a little bit. I did a photo shoot for the Rock and Vine because when I'm not cooking, I'm doing pictures of food and product, except when my friends over at Rock and Vine ask me to take pictures of people. I don't like taking pictures of people because it's so hard to direct. And I think I told you this when we were shooting. It's like, it's so awkward for me to tell you what to do. So it's like, do what you want to do. But in this instance, I think I went into director mode and it's like whip out that knife and created this really cool image that I'll post on the website. Just, made it look like a super, oh God, this is going to sound like shit. Like I keep on using the same word because it's hard to get away from using the term badass whenever I talk about people.
For sure.
You're either badass or you're not badass.
El chingón.
Yeah, super chingon. So we made her look super chingona in this case, with a knife and what was it? A pomegranate?
Yeah.
Is pomegranate?
I think I slaughtered a pomegranate.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that was you that did that picture?
Yeah. Did you see it?
Dude, I did, for sure.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, God, that was cool, man.
Yeah, man, that was
really
me.
is.
Yeah. I'm good at something.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But that was the first time I met Ashley, I believe, right?
Yes, I think we did the photo shoot together, and then with the Rock and Vine spread at Carol Bolton's place. Yeah. So we did like a fall spread. You took amazing pictures for that, and then we had you come over to my kitchen, and we had fun.
Yeah, but my first thought was like, I wish I had a kitchen like this. I can be in here all the time. I almost built a kitchen here.
You're
before
welcome
the
to
thing.
use it anytime.
Oh, don't say that. Because I'm not. I'm gonna be that Mexican that's always there, not wanting to leave.
All right,
it's
Leo,
like, hey.
it's been 5 hours.
And it's like, can I borrow? No. It's funny because with Kim from Viva Catering, she offered, and I never really use a kitchen unless I really need it. To this day, I still haven't used it, but I have all my stuff there in case I need to use it.
For sure.
But God, I shouldn't be saying that. It might get me in trouble. But I love, knowing that I'm able to go and create whenever. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to take you up on that. So
yeah, come on out. We're slow right now, too.
But I'll call ahead before. But anyways, brother, go ahead. Go. Let's start this interview with my buddy here.
So, Ashley, tell us a little bit about, so your company's called Feast and Merriment.
Feast and Merriment. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So how did you come up with that? How did you stumble upon that?
Well, I actually started the business in Crested Butte, Colorado. So I was up there, I think it was 2007, 2008. I moved there and started my business, and I was working with my company's first name was Fête Events. So kind of the French name Fête, for party. Yeah. And I was working with this really talented woman that was doing the stationery for my cards, like hand printed on an old printing press with handmade paper. And she had a tagline and said, she had used something for an invitation for a wedding that said Feast and Merriment to follow on the invitation for a wedding. So I said, oh my God, that's the best tagline. So I put that as my tagline on Fed Events. And then I ended up getting a divorce and I dissolved that business. Mm-hmm. My ex-husband was a chef as well. Dissolved that business and changed it to Feast and Merriment because it really encompasses everything that we do. We do event planning and food production. It's a catering service in a sense, as a whole. So we actually entertain. We do, the staffing, the bartending. We can hire, entertainment, all that good stuff. So it's the food and the entertainment, the merriment part. So I thought it was super cute.
Are you from Colorado? Where are you from? Because
I'm from Dallas originally.
Okay, like how did you get to Fredericksburg? Because that's kind of
well, I went to UT, so I was down in Central Texas, my late teens. Graduated from UT and then started working as an event planner in Austin. I worked for several different catering companies, and I'd collaborate with the chefs at those businesses. I had several chefs that I worked for that just were not interested in creating their own menus. So I started getting super nerdy about it and researching back when like Epicurious was first on the internet, I was like, oh my God, there's so much out there, So that was a whole new world because I used to use binders and,
with the clear folders.
The clear folders. Oh yeah.
Love it.
So, the alphabetically organized and
That's
all that.
how old we
and
are.
once we got Pinterest and all of that, it was a whole new ballgame.
Totally.
So I worked for them. I created menus. I moved to Crested Butte, Colorado, because I was actually planning my wedding up there, and I realized that there wasn't anyone up there that was doing the type of food that was available in Central Texas and Austin or Dallas. And there's a bunch of people that want to have lovely weddings up there and get married. So I moved up there because I couldn't get anyone to do my wedding for me. And I was like, this is a gold mine, and it's a gorgeous place too.
So you did your own wedding?
I didn't. I've actually found someone to
Good
do it.
for you.
We did the rehearsal dinner.
It's going to that.
We did the rehearsal dinner, but I had a big hand in the wedding part, and I just did the planning portion of it.
Cool.
And speaking of, just getting immersed in the local produce up there, Colorado has a very short growing season, but it's bountiful. It is amazing. There's a town near Crested Butte that you can't even get to in the wintertime because they don't plow the roads. You can only get to it in the summer from our area called Paonia. And it's in a valley of the Rocky Mountains. So they have, hotter temperatures, longer growing season than Crested Butte. Crested Butte can't grow too much because it gets so cold. But
high elevation?
Very high elevation, 9,000 feet, and in the mountains, 11,000.
So it's got to suck balls to bake anything, right? You can't bake.
Yeah, it's difficult, and I hate baking too.
Oh. Yeah, well, we have something in common then.
Yeah, it's too scientific for me. So anyway, I was able to get a ton of produce up there. I was introduced to elk, fresh lamb from down the road. People, of course, with cattle. But wild game was really where it was at for me up there.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's kind of where it all started. And I just had all this, this great resource around me from where we were and, trout in the rivers, as you're familiar with.
I love
fishing.
Fish, yeah.
I know. It's so great. And it's just a wonderful way of life. So, anyway, it was wonderful to be up there. And then I was up there for almost 9 years. I decided my daughter was turning 5, and I wanted her to be back in Texas, and I wanted her to started a school in kindergarten. So we moved to Stonewall. I found a beautiful piece of property there. Moved there in, I guess it was 2015.
What made you choose Stonewall? Because that's the middle of nowhere.
I know.
Of course,
that's what my realtor said.
We have the White House of Texas White House, right? Mm-hmm. But other than that,
well, my roommate from college, Tony Stout was her maiden name. Her name is Tony Hogan. Now, she and I went to school together at Southwest Texas, now Texas State.
My son went
dating
there.
myself.
Okay.
And then we went to UT, and she was from Fredericksburg, and so we ended up reconnecting. And I said, I want to move back to Texas. I need to be in an area where there's lots of events available. There's lots of opportunity for catering and weddings. I didn't want to move back to Austin. It had already gotten too crowded for me because I was now a mountain girl. So I ended up moving. She said, come to Fredericksburg. There's so much going on. There's so much opportunity. So I looked for about a year online for a property, and I found 8 acres in Stonewall. Couldn't really find a small piece near Fredericksburg that I could handle. I'm not a rancher, so I was like, I don't need 100 acres. I would just fail miserably.
But 8 acres is still quite a bit.
For sure.
I've got 2, and it's a pain in the ass just to mow that. I don't know how the hell you're doing it.
It's the John Deere zero turn, baby.
I need to get one.
They are so much fun. It makes it enjoyable. But so anyway, I found that property, and I immediately built the commercial kitchen on that site. And I had a big front porch that overlooked my neighbors, and Narrow Path ended up buying the property and building a gorgeous vineyard out there, beautiful tasting room, and planting 15 acres of grapes. So I had a built-in, beautiful scene in front of me. And we ended up enclosing the front room because I wanted to rent it out for more events. So we enclosed it with all glass, and it's all air conditioned. So we do supper clubs there for different wineries in town. We do private events, small weddings. We can accommodate up to 60 people. So it's pretty intimate, and it's really kind of my fun place, my creative zone where I can
Your happy place.
It is.
Your
I
zen.
love it. It is my zen. Yeah. For sure. So it's a great opportunity for people to come from out of town and feel like they're in the hill country, in the wine country, because we're surrounded by the grapes and the beautiful landscape and the hills. and then get a taste of what Texas has to offer as far as local produce and wild game.
You hit the
and all that.
jackpot without even.
I got
Definitely.
lucky. I
That's
sure
awesome.
did. I
Yeah.
sure did something right somewhere along the way, I guess.
Good. You've been blessed.
Heck
Well,
yeah.
thank you. I enjoy it.
So we talked a little bit before we started recording, and you mentioned wine pairing,
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking about menu development and stuff like that. So, how do you go about that? What's your strategy for wine pairing?
Your inspiration.
Your inspiration.
Well, my clients are the wineries, that have chosen to do these private dinners at our location. So they send me their profiles on the wines that they're going to be serving for the dinner. And we typically do 5 to 7 courses. So it gives me the opportunity to really look at flavor profiles of the wine. Typically I get tasting notes. Sometimes I don't. Just depends on how new the wine is. Sometimes they haven't been written yet. So I'll just get a bottle of the wine. I'll try it, really kind of sit there, think about seasonality with what time of year we're doing it, what's available that time of year, what will pair great with the wine, and also sometimes incorporate a theme with it. If, for example, we do a lot of events with Ben Calais. He's a lovely Frenchman, so I always try to do a little hint of, French cuisine in there for him. We're doing Bastille Day for him this weekend on Friday and Saturday night. So we're doing mussels, we're doing, délice de bourguignon tartine. We're making chocolate eclairs, we're having fun with it. So
Totally
a lot
all
of times,
French.
yeah. So we'll sometimes we've done a whole pig roast with him.
Mm-hmm.
We've cut, like butchered a pig and just done all different cuts.
How are you
like a
cooking?
French
Where are you
picnic.
cooking your pig?
Well, we cut that one into different sections,
Oh,
and so
gotcha.
we roasted or braised or what have you. We didn't do an underground. underground roast.
Cajachina or nothing.
No,
like that.
I love that idea
Yeah.
though. I just bought an Argentinian grill,
Yeah.
so we're gonna start having fun with that. And I've been doing a lot of outdoor cooking just on my own in the summer and just enjoying the heck out of it. So that's to come for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. But, just being able to have the freedom to create whatever type of menu I want. I don't duplicate. So I want it to be super special for the winery so that, because we have a lot of repeat customers too that are wine club members for the specific winery. So they'll come out and I'll just do something different every time for them, just so it's unique and, special and pairs with what I do my best to pair with it. I think I've been pretty successful so far. And it's just, you just have to, it's kind of something where you have an intuition about it, just having tried the wines and, I do a lot of research too. I get nerdy with it. I look up the different varietals and, figure out flavor profiles for those, depending on, where in the world the grape is from, and try to incorporate those little connections as well. So, it's my creative process for those smaller events. But using the local produce and local game and meats from Texas. We have so much right now. The summer's amazing. There's so many varieties of all sorts of produce that we get to incorporate. So that's what's fun for me. And the best part about it is kind of getting a big batch of, beautiful lettuce or, sweet peppers from different farms around the area delivered to me. And I'm like, oh, yay, this is it's like Christmas. You can't get anything like it at the grocery store. It's just, you can get 15 different varieties of potatoes, so it's kind of fantastic to be able to have a resource like Austin, where there's a lot of people that are, doing their own farms and their mom and pop and supporting them. And so, dairies around us too are plentiful. And Oro Bianco, I use a ton of his stuff too, the water buffalo, because it's so unique and special.
I love the stuff he makes. Everything he makes is just so good.
Yeah, it's delicious.
It definitely gives you a different respect for the product. Having it come from a local farm or, come from somewhere sourced, not too far away. It just gives it this element of, it gives you a different sense of pride, I guess you could say, in what you're creating. Especially working with those wineries. Your story is so interesting because I feel like there's an element of it too, where you're just in the right place at the right time,
I feel that way too.
All right.
I honestly have to pinch myself because I'm doing what I love to do, and it's worked out so far. I'm able to put food on the table for my family.
Right.
So that's good.
Money in your
For other
pocket,
people.
food in your bag,
Yeah.
and doing what you love. But yeah,
Exactly.
it's captivating. I love seeing everything you do. You're probably the only one that I that really I look at and I'm inspired by. I don't use a lot of like farm grown products. I wish I did, but for me, I'm offering the basic menu, the standard, and mine doesn't change like yours does.
Mm-hmm.
So what's really cool about what Ashley is doing is that she's taking all these local ingredients and just making this medley. Sometimes this plate looks like, okay, I would have never thought of doing this with this ingredient, this ingredient, this ingredient, and then making it look as sexy as she makes it look. And I'm sure it tastes just as good. I wish I could just reach in and just take a bite and say, okay, yeah, that's what I expected. But I mean, honestly, I feel like you're the only one in the area that's doing what you do when it comes to recipe creation, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of people that can go out and entertain, create a nice meal, a great experience. But you're taking it to another level where you're actually taking the time and creating something different every time, and then just really thinking outside the box when it comes to flavor profiles and recipes that you're doing with the local stuff. It's simply, I mean, it's pretty mind blowing, and I'm sure the plate is just orgasmic as well.
Well, thank you for saying that. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's really, I think, it lends itself to me keeping my sanity. To be able to have the creative outlet. If I had to do the same thing over and over, like if I had a restaurant where the menu was the same and I had to do the same thing, I would be so bored. So I have to constantly be changing it. It's just the way I am. Some people are fine with that and comfortable with it, and they do an amazing job and everything's perfect every time. And I envy that as well. I think with me, I just get bored easy, and I'm like, okay. And also it's a challenge to have, these different wineries that are expecting, it's all about making their wine shine. The food needs to be great and delicious, but it also needs to pair well with the wine. Right. So that's the challenge for me, that I'm not putting something that's completely off-putting with the wine and then their wine doesn't sell because I've created something that's a disaster, So that's kind of where I am with the creative process. That's one portion of it. Right. I want to keep my side of the bargain, but also just being able to do something different all the time. It just keeps it interesting.
Are there certain rules that you follow when pairing something with a wine? Like, are you more of a complementary style wine pairer, or do you like to mix it up with contrasting flavors?
Totally depends. I do a lot of both, actually. If it depends on the style of the dinner. Sometimes I'll do things that are kind of fun and casual, like with a Dega Vino. They're such fun-loving guys. Their wine's really fun and different. So a lot of times I'll do like birria tacos, with the Tempranillo, or I'll do, little sliders that are fun and different, that are, what I call my food is elevated comfort food, so you're going to recognize it on a plate, but it's going to be something a little different. And I do like to have fun with the ingredients. Sometimes I put things together, I'm like, I can't believe I just put that together. That's so weird.
Yeah, but it works. You're like, thank God I didn't fuck this up.
Yeah, well, when I'm presenting the food to the people that are at the event, I come out and introduce the food each course, and I tell them what's in it. And I'm just like, that's a crazy combination, but somehow it just works. I don't know. It's just, I don't think too much about it. I just kind of have an intuition with it. I'm like, okay, I think this is going to be okay. And I test it, right before I serve it that night.
Yeah. I was going to say, how much do you actually test prior to?
Never.
And then I was going to ask, how much of that stuff that you create, can you spit out and say, what the fuck was I thinking?
Oh yeah. Well, that's how I started. I don't have any formal training at all. So it's all, totally random. Yeah. It's random with a bit of a experience behind it. But when I first started, I was cooking for a high-end resort in Crested Butte, and they kind of just let me do whatever I wanted, but they're like, hey, we've got 10 guys from the East Coast, hedge fund yada yada's coming in, and we need a plate of dinner, 5 courses. And I'd be like, okay, here we go. And I had my sous chef, Matt Santor, that was just in this crazy world with me. And we just would put our heads down and come up with stuff and serve it and just hope for the best, but that's really what kept it so fun, I think. And that's just kind of always how I've, approached this job. Getting into weddings and things like that, I still customize my menus very much so with my brides. I'm always asking them what they love, what restaurants they really enjoy, what their heritage is, if they have special recipes from their family that they want to see. If they're like, oh, we're Czech, we want to see pierogies, okay, great, let's do pierogies. We'll do that for a pasta app, so that their dinner is as unique as the couple themselves. I just really want it to be special, where it's like a lot of people go to weddings and they don't remember the food. I want them to remember the food and be like, that really encompassed the whole feeling of our love for each other, our love for great food. People hire me for weddings that are foodies. If they're not a foodie and they don't care how the food is, we don't jive, because I'm just not in it to just be kind of run of the mill with it.
Truth.
So that's just kind of, I've got this special niche group.
You want to make sure they appreciate the stuff that you're making as
Exactly.
well. So it's not necessarily all about, give me your money, I'll do it.
It's a fun process. Right. It's like, I tell them, this is the fun part of your wedding planning. Come to me. We'll do a tasting. We'll have fun with the menu options. I send them a bunch of different ideas. They pick through it and kind of let me know which direction they're heading into. I revise them, and then we have a tasting, and then make sure it's, perfect for them, and that they know what to expect with presentation and all that, and what I can get locally and all that. So it's great. It's really fun.
You can go on.
So let me ask you this. Are you a Excel spreadsheet girl, or are you a journal girl?
Oh God, I'm not a spreadsheet girl at all. Not at all. I think I missed that part in college. I majored in creative advertising. So I did graphic design and copywriting. I like using adjectives and things like that for descriptions for my food.
So you're a journal girl.
I don't journal either, though.
Interesting.
She's visual, and then
I'm
execute.
visual, and I just, honestly, I want to write things. I'd love to be one of those people that has beautiful leather, with a great pen. But I've kind of gotten to a point where it hurts to write, I think I've got the chef finger.
Tweezers / knife pen.
Yeah, I don't use tweezers, but I use the knife, and I'm just like, my handwriting, I used to pride myself on, and it's just gotten so sloppy now because I type everything. Yeah, but I definitely, I read a lot. I read a lot of cookbooks. I just research food a lot, And
you travel a lot too.
I do. That's a huge part of it. I travel a ton, and I always go to destinations that have fantastic food. Everywhere in the world has fantastic food.
I've seen you in Oaxaca a couple times already.
Yes, I love Mexico.
You can't get enough, right?
So much. It's my favorite place.
Us Mexicans have that effect on people, man.
Dude,
it's true.
We've talked about Oaxaca.
Totally.
It's a theme.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go see.
Dude, we are.
It's amazing. Yeah. Oh, I know. I'm trying to go back maybe for Thanksgiving. We're going to get to Mexico at some point because we usually go several times a year, and we haven't been yet this year. So I'm like, okay, when are we going? What's our trip?
So what's something there that's memorable that you, from your recent trips, something that you ate there in Oaxaca that you were just like, wow.
Well, they put so much thought into everything, and love, and just, God, I've had memorable meals. In Mexico City, I went to Quintanil. I think it's number 1 now in Mexico. I think Pujol is now number 2.
Wow.
Yeah. And
that means in the world, they're probably number 8 or 9.
They're up there.
Yeah.
But I get chills thinking about it. I had a 10-course meal there, and I cried during several of the courses because it was so thoughtful. It was just the most beautiful.
I've never cried for food unless
I hadn't either, and it was overwhelming. It was just everything about it was so thoughtful, and such a presentation. The staff was amazing too, just coming over and adding special touches. It was just all these little surprises,
religious experience, right?
It was. Seriously, it was. That was fantastic. Mexicans just know how to cook. They know how to serve their families. They know what to do with all different types of ingredients, and can make, and they put the time into it. It takes time to make a tortilla. It makes time to do barbacoa. It's just it's the labor of love.
It's a whole hospitality thing in Mexico, man. It's every little detail.
Yeah.
Well, it all came from abuelita.
Huevo.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was up every morning, getting it done first thing in the morning. Everything was from scratch.
Yeah, for sure.
And in Oaxaca,
fresh.
Yeah, it's the mentality. It's just a way to live, and I think we can take so much from that, slowing down a little bit and really putting the time into it and the energy.
Everybody talks about slowing down and stuff. I don't know what that means. Are we ever going to do it?
I know. In Oaxaca, I had the opportunity of cooking with Susanna Trilling of Seasons of My Heart. And she used to have a PBS show. She's a very well-regarded chef down in Oaxaca. She's from San Antonio originally. We did mole with her. I made tamales. We did all sorts, just working with her ovens, and on her comals outside with the fresh, ingredients and the fire. And it was just, I went to a market that morning with one of her assistants, and she introduced me to everyone at the food market, which is insane.
Cool. Yeah.
It's overwhelming, and you can't
imagine.
go not hungry. You have to go when you're maybe starving, because I don't really eat breakfast.
Yeah, you bite here, bite there.
And
everywhere.
I was like, I can't even eat anymore.
Yeah.
You know, we were there for like
Screw
3
making
hours.
lunch and dinner. You know,
Yeah, it was amazing. And there was fish and bread and cactus and, you know, all sorts of stuff, peppers.
Everything.
And it was the most beautiful experience, because everything is it's just eye candy. You know, they've got sacks of peppers and sacks of beans of coffee, and, you know, they had cacao there, and they have mezcal there, and they've got everything. And you're just like, it's just fantastic.
I need to live here, right?
You just want to take it all home. You know, I'm like, I need another bag. You know, I gotta ship this with me, because there's so many ingredients down there that you can't get here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So many herbs and spices,
totally.
and that's like their, and they
Exactly.
use it as medicine. You know, it's like healing in their food, and like, oh, you have a stomach ache here, take this. You know,
Then you get to the border and they take it all the shit away. Yeah.
I know. Oh, we smuggle it in. I smuggle as much in as possible.
Yeah, I used to do that too.
We've stolen all kinds of stuff. Not stolen, but we've brought it over the border.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to say steal.
Well, you just illegally
brought
imported.
over,
Yeah.
Quick question on tamale. You made tamales there, right?
Uh-huh.
You truly authentic tamales the way you made it. You didn't do this Rachel Ray shit where you threw everything in a blender and mixed it all up and then put it in a.
No.
Have you seen that?
No, I
you seen
have
Rachel
not.
Ray?
No, I haven't.
Oh my god.
No, I've nixtamalized corn at my kitchen, and I love making tamales. Like, it is a zen moment for me.
That is
like,
so cool.
people are like, "You like making tamales?" And because I put it on the menus all the time because I'm crazy, and I'm like, "No, I like to."
Yeah, it's like me cutting the grass. You like making tamales.
Yeah, and it's just because it's like a little present, you know, that you wrap up.
Individual
and then,
gifts for everyone.
Yes, and they're so beautiful, and you can have so much fun with the creativity and the ingredients. So no, I love making tamales.
That's awesome.
And but Mexico is really, I adore that country, and we've been all over. We're actually my other business is Ocotillo Chocolate, and we went down to Tabasco and met the farmers that own the cacao plantations where we buy some of our cacao beans from. We got to see how they ferment them, how they dry them, met the people that pick them. Like, it was intense, and you're in the jungle, you know?
I hope you took pictures, right? You took a lot of pictures.
I have so many pictures. Yeah.
Good.
It was like where we were in the parts of, Mexico where like Chiquita bananas plantations are. So there's banana trees everywhere.
That's awesome.
There's grottos, there's, it's so green down there and lush. That country is just so rich, in so many ways. But yeah, I mean, it's huge. So there's different areas offer different things. But I don't know. I think I should maybe be on the Visit Mexico board or something.
I know you make everybody get their asses to Mexico next week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start looking at flights after
you
this.
Should. Yeah.
I think for me, Oaxaca kind of fell on my radar, and I've always kind of I love Oaxaca cheese.
Mm-hmm.
I love quesadillas, making quesadillas with that.
We took a class with the local dairy woman that came. She couldn't speak English, and she showed us how to make the Oaxacan cheese. And amazing.
It's funny how our HEB actually has some really good.
They do.
Oaxacan,
I buy that too. Yeah,
it's great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they fell on my radar I remember when Noma went there, and they were doing I used to see all this stuff on social media about they were doing a period of time where they were opening Noma in Oaxaca, and to me it just looks so romantic. It just all this vibrant,
colorful,
all this fresh produce, all these fresh fish and stuff like that. So it's definitely been a theme. So it Chef Leo and I might have to take a trip down there at some point.
We should all go out there.
Yeah.
Get everybody do a school trip.
Totally. Bring the podcast stuff. Can you?
Don't tempt me. I'm seriously thinking right now about booking it.
Yeah, he's figuring it out.
My head's going.
Mm-hmm.
Mine.
Cool.
Yeah.
So Ashley, maybe we're somewhere else. It sounds like you're very well traveled, and I kind of want to riff on the subject a little bit more. Where's somewhere else that really inspires you?
Well, Italy, of course.
Awesome.
I mean, you can't go wrong there.
Which part? Where do you like to go when you go to Italy?
Well, the most recent spot I went to, we went to Sicily, and we were there for 3 weeks and took a bunch of cooking classes there. We learned to make cannoli, tedious, but fun.
I'm sure.
They're so delicate.
Well, I think honestly, the people you hang around with make it fun, right? Because the actual work doing it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. But making fresh pasta is where it's at.
Yeah,
That's
totally.
another Zen
Yeah.
situation.
I miss doing that. I'm on a diet, so I can't make pasta.
Oh, hush. Do whole wheat. I can't really do whole wheat.
No, I'll do it.
Just kidding.
Keep going. I love Italy myself. Italy's probably my favorite place to visit and eat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally just crazy with the food there. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I mean, it's funny because same pasta, right? Just prepared different ways, different looks, different shapes, but it just tastes so different everywhere.
It's alive.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure.
Yeah, totally.
For sure. No, Sicily is so cool. There's just so much history there. So, Africa's very close. So you've got a lot of the Moorish influences, a lot of spicy peppers, things like that are incorporated. And, so many great wineries there as well. We went to Pantelleria, which is, about 7 hours off the coast of Italy, or off Sicily, in between Tanzania and Sicily. Wow. And just, it's like a rock, it's kind of like you're on Mars, but some of the greatest wine grows there. Zabibo is one of the varietals. That's great. It's just, you go there. The thing that I love about traveling is half the time I have no idea half the things that they grow there, unless I've done a lot of research. But when you go and you see everything that's available, the lemon trees, the olive trees, so much citrus down there. We did steal, our contraband that we brought back on that trip were bitter almonds. So they're illegal in the States.
I would love traveling with you. It's like, let's stash some of the socks.
It's so innocent importing. I think it's like a little bit, but it's a little thrilling. Like we'd totally get busted in customs, and then what are they going to do?
When we started we started this interview prior to recording about a farm. The whole concept was farm to table kind of thing, that you're supposedly having your own farm, but you don't. I'm surprised you don't with everything you brought over. And just
I
put
need
these seeds
to.
in.
It's honestly just a matter of time.
Just corn, different corns from
Oh,
Mexico,
that would be amazing.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Oh, huitlacoche. Okay, so that's like the molded corn that you get down there, and it has the most amazing flavor.
I've never had it, but I've seen it. It looks kind of nasty.
It does look nasty.
Yeah,
but it's really good. And I've had it in quesadillas and in queso and just sautéed. And I think there was someone doing it in Austin at one point, because I got really obsessed with everything Mexico when I got back from Oaxaca and was trying to find people that were growing like Pollo Santo and things like that.
I know you have something else to work on, or
I know.
I'll do 2 acres of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a matter of me, getting some time to do that. I just got a little too many projects going on right now, but one day for sure.
So Ashley, it sounds like you have also these events that you're doing, walk me through like what a week looks like. So you have a big event like on a Saturday, like what does a week look like for you leading up to a big event?
I don't think people have any clue how much it takes.
Oh, I mean, some people do. I mean,
you guys do.
Some people do.
Everyone else doesn't, which is fine. That's where you keep the magic hidden,
right.
Or
to ourselves.
It's a lot of prep, So I try to give my staff Sunday and Monday off, sometimes Tuesday. If we have a big event on Saturday, not usually a go. But Tuesdays we'll get our order in, either from the farms or our purveyors. We'll begin prepping Tuesday, prepping Wednesday. I also own china, glassware, flatware for all the events, so I have someone helping with all the rentals on that too. So it's a lot of washing and polishing and getting all of that ready, just on
you would think you would own your own
side.
stuff. Why are you still renting?
I do.
Well,
I own the rental company.
Oh,
that's what she's saying. Yeah.
It is cabrona.
Chingona.
I guess if we were in the money laundering business, it would be like a pretty sweet thing to do. I'm making some calls after this. Keep going.
Your outlaw's coming out, Leo.
No.
Yeah, so I own all that stuff. So we have to process it all in house, process it, clean it, all that good stuff. So, just prepping and figuring out, we cook everything on site when we do an event. So we're basically getting things ready like marinades or, I'll make a salad dressing and things like that prior to a vinaigrette or what have you. We'll prep vegetables, but we finish everything off on site. So everything's, seared and finished at the event. So we're really just prepping to get it all together. I'm at HEB all the damn time.
Really?
Because I see you there every day.
Yeah, I know. It's funny.
Every time we're like, hey,
I'm the same way with
you
this
tired?
guy.
I'm tired.
This is what we're doing this today because of him running into us and talking like the way we do.
That's so funny. Yeah,
crazy.
you and I will talk for like at least 10 minutes and be like, what do you got? Okay, you got this. Okay, good. Good luck. See you soon.
Yeah. You should try this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
So HEB is like for all the little things that I need that I don't want to buy in bulk. You know, we need tons of little ingredients. But the process starts sometimes a year in advance, you know, where weddings are planned quite frequently a long time in advance. So it's just having the conversation with the client, customizing the menu, having a tasting, you know, all the little details that go with the planning process with the staffing and, you know, site inspections at the venue and making sure everybody knows what's going on and the layouts are correct. Mm-hmm. And when we get there, we know what we're doing day of. So, you know, it's a big deal for sure. So those are weddings and I call them beasts because they are, but in the best way, you know, it's the great thing about them is all that work, you know, you get to the event, you're like, okay, we're here, we're doing this. It's a hurry up and wait. You're rushing. I mean, those are 16, 18-hour days for us, you know? So we're there and we're set up and the bride walks out and looks at the room and I go say hi to her and I'm like, here's a glass of champagne. You ready to do this? Okay, we're ready to do this. She's ecstatic and happy. It's like the most joyous occasion of her life, you know, and her family's life. And we've done all this prep and now she can relax and enjoy it with her, you know, her husband. And I mean, I'm saying the bride because I deal with it mostly, but everyone is included in that that's involved because it's a beast. And then you just feel like, okay, I was part of her day, her special day. These pictures will live with them forever, you know, and I want them to feel satisfied and happy and good about what they ate and drank. So, you know.
So, I mean, it could take anywhere from a month to a year preparations for like any of your events. And so, I mean, that's crazy because, you know, here we have 3 different styles of, you know, businesses, chefs. We're still, you know, the hospitality, food industry, but it's crazy, you know, you learn to appreciate what everyone does, you know, because like you put a lot of thought and detail. I mean, we all do in the things we do, but I mean, you're going above and beyond because you got to probe, then you got to test, then you got to, you know, show and then adjust and go back. And it's people sometimes when they call for quotes and they're like, wait, what do you charge? We tell them and they're like, oh, fuck, that's a lot. I'm going to find somebody cheaper, better. And it's like, good luck, you know, because they don't know what goes involved. I mean, you yourself, you know, Theo's in the kitchen, you know, cooking for a business and gets done and he still has to do his own prepping for whatever gig he may have going on, either deliveries or private, you know, dinner. Myself, I don't do any type of catering. I'm just private dinners. And so myself, I've gotten to the point after doing it for years that it's easy, you know, like I have a dinner tonight and I know if I stop at this point, 3:00, I can get everything done and be ready out the door at 4 and then cooking, I'm back at 8. My days, you know, sometimes people book a day in advance and I'm like, okay, yeah, no problem. I'll knock it out. So it's totally different, you know, but it's still, you know, I'm busting my ass, you know, Theo's busting his ass, Ashley, you're busting your ass. But
we all have to know how to pivot.
Yeah, totally. So, I mean, there's something special about what we all do, but it's at the end of the day, and it's like, you know, you're feeding someone, you're making someone happy, you're giving them this experience that, you know, that they will probably never forget. And, you know, at the end of your meals and your events, I'm sure you've had people coming over to you and say, oh, that was the best meal I've had in my life. And it's like, it's rewarding, you know, it really is. So it makes it all worthwhile. So, I mean, I'm sure, you know, that's all the pain in the ass that you go, you know, work, you do all year / month / week. It's like, it's worth it, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I wouldn't still be in it if it wasn't, because it is so much work. You know, it's manual labor too. It's not just, you know, on the computer doing that. I do that at night, you know, till 10 to 12 at night. You know, that's when you do your proposals, because during the day you're on your feet in the kitchen, you know. The older I get, I'm like, okay, what can I do this for?
Yeah. But this is where the new business is coming in with the chocolates and stuff. You have product to kind of give you a little bit of a break.
Well,
maybe.
Not.
I mean, I guess it won't be in a break until it takes
labor intensive too.
And
but
you
do have a lot of big machinery helping you.
Right. But you still want to be hands-on, right? You want to be in control. You can't give any of your time up to let somebody else
It's
do it.
very
Right?
hard to relinquish control, as
Yeah.
you guys know.
Yeah,
You
totally.
know, when you have any sort of pride with your business, trying to allow someone else to do something that you would normally be doing is so hard.
Right.
I've had a lot of trouble doing that because I'm kind of a control freak over it, because it's my name, my product, and I've
Yes,
just
you
done it
should
this
be,
way for
right.
so long, you know? So that's something I'd really need to work on. I think that's a weakness that I have, that I need to be able to say, okay, because I don't write recipes, you know, I very much cook off the cuff. I come up with it in my head. I figure out what ingredients I'm going to need. I have a bunch on hand too, a bunch of spices and herbs and all things at all times. But I'm very fluid with the process. You know, it's not rigid for me. It's not just a recipe that's written down and you use half a cup of this and a quarter cup of that. It's like, no, this doesn't taste right. I'm adding more, I'm adding more. So for me to train someone to do that is really hard, you know? So I'm trying to get in that mindset of, okay, if I want to grow this business, I'm going to have to relinquish control, trust my people, which I do. They're fantastic. I have a lot of, two of my kitchen folk, Brayson and Jordan, are amazing, and they're just, you know, they want to help. You know, it's just me saying, okay, here, you take this and you do it, and I trust that you're gonna make it just as good, or if not better than I do. Right. You know, but that's just something when you've had your own business for so long and you've got these weird ideas in your mind, trying to portray how you want it prepared is difficult, especially when they're one off. You know, it's just almost impossible.
Do you end up writing down the recipe after the fact that you created, or not?
Sometimes.
Oh, girl. I'm sure you'll go back to your pictures, because I'm sure you take pictures of everything you shoot.
I
so
do.
then you're like
That's
thinking,
very
what did I
helpful.
do? How did I do it? And
Totally.
do I have to write it down?
Yep.
Because I mean, I'm honestly surprised you haven't had 10 books by now. But you know, if you're cooking something different every time.
Well, I've been wanting to do books, but that's just another thing, you know, that I got to add. But I definitely would love to do that eventually. But I am now working on, so I've got another project coming up. The Harvey is the event space that's going to be in town at Elkin, Maine. So it's going to be right next to Ocotillo, which is our chocolate shop where Oro Bianco is, and Six Twist. It's going to accommodate 100 people, so we'll do private events there too.
Wow.
We have a private dining room for 15, and then a big room for 80, and then we can combine those two rooms for one large event.
Awesome.
So I'll still have the opportunity to do weddings there and supper clubs and things, and create whatever events I want to do. You know, just come up with the menus and sell tickets to it. So I am going to try to be more thoughtful and seasonal, and write things down and say, these are what we're doing for fall. You know,
right.
you can branch out of that and we can customize it for sure. But these are, you know, our ideas, and they're all going to complement each other. You pick, you know, 2 proteins, 2 sides, a salad. We can do different appetizers. We also make our own infusions with our drinks, you know, and fresh juices and things like that. But
That's great.
I'm trying to streamline a little bit more, because the bigger the business gets, the more it needs to be honed in a little bit, instead of my wacky little
Simplified.
ideas. Yeah,
And more control.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's hard.
And so when do you expect to launch this?
The Harvey's going to be done probably in about 5 months. 4 or 5 months. We've been in the process with it for about 2 years, so it's almost.
So it's 2024. We're in July.
I'm saying beginning of 2025,
Cool.
January, February. So
And we're
stay
freezing
tuned
ourselves.
on that. Yeah, we're gonna have a fireplace in there. It's gonna be
love it.
gorgeous. Oh, I can't wait. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
same.
all stucco and handmade tables and chairs from Denmark, and just very
Shit.
simple.
I might have to become a dishwasher just so I can go and chill at a cool
Come
place
on
like
back.
that.
I'll let you do something more fun than that.
Oh, okay.
You can be my girl guy.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Keep
Have
extra
fun with fire.
extra warm next to the fireplace.
Exactly. But no, it should be great, you know, and everyone's like, oh, it's going to be a restaurant. I'm like, no, it's not going to be a restaurant, because I honestly, I don't think I could do a restaurant. And also it's just more of like that day to day, you know, like I think my brain has to be doing a bunch of different things.
And probably the same shit over and over. You don't want to be stuck in the box like every.
But I so appreciate restaurants that do that are just, you know, delightful, and like you want to go in and you know you're going to get that smash burger that's amazing, or
Right.
you know, whatever. It's like consistent, you know, in perfection.
like
It's
McDonald's. No,
but you know, to each their own. You know, it's just the way I am. I don't know why I'm that way. I just am. So.
That's cool. So, Ashley, how big is your team right now?
Right now I've got 3 kitchen staff. I have my sous chef Brayson, Jordan, and Abby is the pastry chef. And you know, right now we're going into slow time. So the great thing about catering is you work insane hours during the spring and fall and most of the winter. I tell everyone, save your pennies because we're going to have some time off, but you need that time off to travel, to like experiment at home. Because when you go home, you don't want to cook. When you've been cooking for 16, 18 hours, you're going to make a frozen pizza or eat some ramen.
That's what we're going to ask you earlier. What do you eat when you get to the house?
Yeah, it's the sad truth, I just pounded some pot stickers from HEB.
I love those. we have freezer
I ate them
full.
Cold, I'm like, they're good cold.
Yeah.
But it's fast and easy. So like, that's the thing about it, the lifestyle that we live, it's fast and furious, and I'm not, enjoying as much of this wonderful food that I'm making for people because I'm just kind of sick of dealing with it. You're just like, okay, this looks great. Enjoy. I need something easy, and something mindless. So, and something you haven't handled all day,
Yeah, 100%.
So,
yeah.
That's every chef.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I know.
So 3 people. You have 3 people. That came out of that question, all that other shit. But I mean,
3 people.
No, I love it.
No, I'm sorry. I have 4.
Oh, shit.
Keith is also, he handles all the rentals, and he's also the floor manager and the bar manager. Keith.
Sorry, Keith, we're not mentioning you along with the third person. With all the 3 people.
Yeah, because he's not really in the kitchen anymore. He was helping with the desserts because he's very mathematical, and that's the way his brain works. I'm like, you do the desserts.
Yeah.
Push.
Do it.
You're
really good at it.
Yeah, it looks great. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But he kind of keeps the floor organized. He's seasoned. He's a veteran in the catering world. He worked in New York at a bunch of high-end restaurants, so he knows how to work the floor and the level of service that you really need at these, very high-end events and things. So,
awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
So for the bigger events, you actually have to probably source like other people to come in.
For sure.
Which is probably pretty tricky.
Well, it is, because a lot of times I'll get people that I use 2 staffing services, and some will have worked with me before, some will have not, so you have to retrain a lot of the time. So that's, adds a little element of difficulty day of when you're running around with your head cut off, doing a million different things. That's what Keith's for. He's there to kind of wrangle and, train if people haven't ever.
He can be the asshole, huh? It's like, you're fucking this up.
Yeah, I'm like,
go fix this shit
he's
right
actually,
now.
And he has a good way to present, So me, I'd probably be the asshole.
I love being the asshole in big events. That's what makes the whole job fun.
Yeah.
I try not to be, but when
some people are better than others at delivering the shit sandwich.
Yeah. Totally. I can't say that I'm that great at it. I think I just get like, and our motto is there's no crying in catering. So if I say something to you and it's direct and it might be loud, it's not that I'm mad at you. It's just that I need it right this second, and we can be friends later.
Unless you're in Mexico having this 10-course meal, you can't cry.
Yeah.
Right. Those are tears of joy.
I can't see Theo like being that asshole. I think he'd be coming up to the guy or the woman and maybe he's like, give me your hand, let's pray.
I know, dude. I've always, I tried to do like a lead by example thing, but sometimes people just don't take the example. Yeah. And then you kind of have to get a little bit, direct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Some people just space out, quite literally that's what they do. They just check out. They're like, this isn't my normal job. If they're like cater help, they're like, I'm just here to make some summer money. And you're like, wake up. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
It's super frustrating because a lot of them are young and don't have a ton of experience too. But I do get a lot of amazing help from these services as well that are, just veterans that have done it. They know what's up. They don't have to be told. That's the key. Right. Don't have to be told, or find something that needs to be done. Just look around and be present. That's really
busy.
It's be present. I think that's just the lacking component with so much in our world right now is that everyone's distracted by something.
Totally. Like our phones.
Oh God, those are the worst. Yeah.
When I was at A&M, every football game that would come along, we'd have a whole new batch of temp workers. Mm-hmm. And they're, in this big commercial kitchen with all this crazy like stuff that, these giant walk-ins, these giant freezers, these tilt skillets that hold 60 gallons, rows and rows of convection ovens and charbroilers and stuff like that. And so my strategy was always to find the leader of the pack, because there's always that one dude or that one girl that people were kind of like listening to.
Right.
Maybe they sat on the bus.
They're confident.
Yeah, they sat on the bus over there together, or they drove there together, whatever. So I got really good at picking out the one that I knew could influence the other ones. So I guess that's my strategy with that.
Yeah, find the helpers.
Yeah.
I'm the leader.
Yeah.
Be the leader.
Yeah.
But here's the same amount of money.
And when you find that too, it's just worth holding on to and honing and helping to mold into what you need for your business to be successful, because it's hard to find good people. It really is, especially where we are, as we all know. We struggle with it.
Can't find anyone.
Yeah, I'm blessed to have the people I have, and two out of the 4 are from Austin. One's in Comfort and one's in Johnson City.
So no one from Fredericksburg. It's crazy.
No, not of the core.
Yeah. I mean, I have to hire my daughters. My mother-in-law, my brother-in-law have worked for me.
I have a couple servers that are Fredericksburg, and they're young. They're like 19, 20 out of high school. Awesome. Super hard workers. They worked at peach stands growing up. Their families are wholesome and good, and they know the value of working hard and getting rewarded for it. So, it's those little gems that you find that make it worth it, that you can get through the other, okay, you're just here for the paycheck and you're just go bust some tables or get back in the dish pit and wash some dishes,
Exactly.
Which actually is kind of a Zen moment too. You just need to step back.
If you just need to just zone out and
Yeah.
just see the reward in your work. you
Yeah.
know. But that's a real thing. Well, Chef, I won't take up any more of your time. Chef Ashley, we just are so grateful that you came on. And every
Thank you
week
for having me.
we do a little thing. We have a recipe of the week. And you were talking a little bit about your travels in Italy. So I thought it would be great to do a pasta this week.
Totally,
Fantastic.
man. Can't wait. I'm actually going to eat pasta this
I
time.
know you've been on a diet, Chef.
Yeah.
You've been on a diet.
I guess I just watch the portion, right?
That's just watch the portion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moderation.
Yeah. How many points? I'm doing Weight Watchers, so I'm thinking, how many points is pasta? I'm going to have to Google that or check on the app later to see.
Right. Just don't put the Alfredo sauce on
Oh,
it.
yeah,
maybe.
no. Red pasta. We'll do a red sauce for sure.
For me, like carbonara is like really addicting too.
So
It's
good.
like you take one bite and it's just like the perfect balance of like acid and salt and fattiness from the bacon and all that.
Fantastic.
So,
So
Can't
good.
wait. Okay, so Theo's going to do one. I'm going to do one. And Ashley, if you want to join in, you can make
Sure.
some
I'll
and,
do one.
take a picture. This time, write the damn recipe.
Okay. Guess if I have
That way
to.
our listeners, followers can actually, see what the famous Ashley is doing. And then we'll share that at the time of, that this episode is released.
Cool. And just a real quick plug for yourself. If somebody wants to find your service or learn more about you, where do they go?
Sure. Well, you can see me on Instagram. Feast and Merriment. Feast_and_Merriment. Feastandmerriment.net is my website.
This .com taken up.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
I know. I was like, lame. I guess I'll do net, but it seems to be all right. So there's lots of pictures on the website for all different types of events, as well as Instagram. But just give me a call or shoot me an email and we'll chat about what you need.
Sweet. Thanks.
Say that at the same time.
Sweet.
Good.
Well, Chef, thanks again for having me over. It's been a real pleasure. Ashley, I love hearing your story. I also love to have you back sometime, talk a little bit more about travel, because it seems like
I'd
you.
love that.
It seems like it really is something you're passionate about, and
Yeah.
I love seeing passion in people. So
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, bro.
I'll come
I'm
back
glad
anytime.
Glad you made it here this morning again.
Oh yeah.
Ashley, thanks for being so kind and not turning me down too.
Of course not.
it's
Never.
It's funny because I asked her, we had to reschedule, and it was like, oh shit. I'm glad you were able to make the time for us today, and
Me too.
really enjoy what you do. I really appreciate everything. So, all right, guys. Well, until next time.
Have a good one. See you later, Chef.
See you
Adios.
later. Ciao.